if you're seeing this, then this is your Tarot Tuesday message. Okay, yes, we are back again with another Tarot Tuesday. This Tarot Tuesday is for the week of Tuesday, May 13th through the 19th, okay? So we're going to see what the week has in store for us as far as the energy that we, as the collective coming to this video, will be dealing with. And we'll talk a little bit about the astrology. I don't know too much of what's going on. I know something about some things, but whatever. We'll get into that in a second. We'll look at our tarot cards, and yeah, we're just going to see what kind of things we can keep our eyes peeled for in the next 7 days. If you are finding this video and it is not at any point during the week of May 13th through the 19th, 2025, that's fine. These are all of these videos. They find you when they find you, and the space-time continuum is not linear. So you can trust that whenever you are finding this video, it's possible there's messages here for you. You will have to be the one to determine whether that is correct. But if you are finding the video within that week, okay, we are all living under this energy. So this is sort of the themes, patterns, situations, what have you, we're dealing with during this week. But if you're finding this, it's possible you're dealing with something similar at whatever point you are at, okay? All of it is perfect and exactly as it should be. So you can trust that. You can also trust that you know what messages are right for you. So this is a general reading. So there will be more general messages for the group of us who are here, less specific for your particular situation. You're the one who knows your situation best. I likely have no idea. You know what's right for you. So use your intuition, take what resonates, leave whatever doesn't. My only hope is that you get a little bit of insight to help you walk through the week. Okay? So that being said, we'll talk a little bit about the astrology. Welcome, whether you've been here before or this is your first time. We love you. And yeah, I've got my oracle deck. I have the spicy oracle. I have my tarot cards. We're going to do what we do best and get into it. Talk a little bit about the astrology of the week. So as far as what's coming up in the week, I honestly, I don't know too much about what's going on with the specifics. There's a lot happening. There's been a lot happening. This whole year has been like a whole thing. So it's a lot to keep up with. I, admittedly, again, and I will always be saying this, I am not an astrologer. I am astrology informed readings, but I myself am not the astrologer. So I'm not always super on top of what everything is always moving in the sky. Okay. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not a weatherman, but I am paying attention to the forecast. Okay. I guess you could say. Anyway, what I do know, all right, is that yesterday on Monday the 12th, we had the full moon in Scorpio. This was the flower moon. And this is got a lot of activity with other planets. I think Uranus and Saturn, and there's stuff happening with Chiron, and there's stuff happening with all of them all of the time. Okay. But right now it's just a lot of intense energy. And the full moon, I did just post the full moon in Scorpio reading. So if you like to go and find that, go to my page. You can find that there. Yes, the full moon in Scorpio, that energy is going to be with us for a while. It's a very intense energy. And I think it is likely illuminating a lot of things that we'll be working with over the week ahead. Okay, so if that makes sense. The Scorpio full moons are luminous. They typically are showing us what's working, what's not working, if there's ways in which we need to redirect ourselves. It's also a time of clearing halfway through the lunar cycle. The moon is at its brightest. And so it's a process of clearing space so that new growth can come through. Okay. That new growth, whatever seeds had been planted back at the new moon where you may have set intention or what have you. Okay. So that's full moons in general. Full moons in Scorpio also are usually much more intense. I think Scorpio is ruled by the moon, right? That sounds right. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that sounds right. So there's that. It is a water sign. It feels very deeply. But Scorpio also, this is the scorpion. So it goes really deep. And it is all about death and rebirth. And it is also the imagery of the phoenix rising. Okay, so it's really intense energy. And because there's all this other stuff happening with other planets and things that wouldn't necessarily normally be happening on this moon, it's intensifying a lot. It's really asking us to go much deeper than we even normally would with a regular full moon in Scorpio. So a lot can be coming up, feeling things, asking yourself things like what are you hiding from yourself, right? Things coming up like that, things that are ready to be let go. Okay, all of this needs to be cleared. These feelings need to be felt and grieved and let go, because a new birth, a transformation, a whole new version of you is stepping through under this energy. And this is going to be the first week under that transformative energy. So I think it's going to be a big week. We'll see. More is always revealed, and it's possible that there's other things going on in the sky in the week, and I just don't know what they are. But the full moon in Scorpio is a pretty huge deal. So there's that. Why don't we go ahead and, I mean, it's like big enough to mention because it's going to inform the rest of the week, but why don't we go ahead and let's take a look at our first oracle. We've got the Oracle of Mystical Moments. Okay. And can we please, and thank you, just catch a vibe, or can you show us the themes, or what would you, how would you like to take us into this reading? What's the energy? What's the vibes? What's the deal? There it is. Thank you. Okay. Woo! Wait, I love this. It's so weird and cool, interesting. And it's so interesting because in the shadow cards from the full moon reading, we had 5 energy back to back. And then there's this 5 energy here. 5s represent conflict, usually, but also change, and conflict and change usually equate to growth in some capacity if you're doing your work. So I think that's interesting. This card is super weird and I love it. Okay. I'm seeing the braids as tree branches extending out, pink flowers. There is stillness in this card, but also a lot of growth and movement with the braids and the hair for some reason for me. Okay, let's see I'm not super familiar with this card. I don't think I've ever actually gotten it. So let's see if I'm onto anything here with our little booklet. Bloom. Ooh, self-confidence. Okay, stillness in a self-confidence. Pink, Yes, femininity, but I was also thinking like self-care, self-confidence. Okay. Bloom. Self-confidence, femininity, individual fulfillment. Okay. A woman gazes into your eyes with pride and self-confidence. She knows what she wants, and the certainty blooms out of her being like a bountiful garden. Yes. Her hair is thick like the branches of trees, reaching out with controlled abandonment. The power of nature surrounds her, flowing both into her and out from her. What would it be like to feel this connected and confident? What could you accomplish? Your inner strength blossoms into future achievements. Whoa. You know what? I mean, I know it's tree branches, but for some reason it's also giving like static electricity, which has me feeling very excited. Even though she's very just still in that self-confidence, still in the femininity. Fierce. Okay. Okay. So that's where we're starting. Perfect. Let's get our spicy oracle. See what that has to say. Let's kind of add on to this. Okay. Mm. Mm. Interesting. Okay, so we have. Ooh, hang on one second. It fell on the floor. Okay, so for our spicy oracle, we have spoiler alert. It's a secret. Too bad you're not single. Right, because there was something about, hang on, how do they phrase it? In the booklet, I need to look again. It was individual fulfillment. Okay, too bad you're not single. Individual. Okay. So interesting. Okay. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It's a secret. Too bad you're not single. What do we have here? Spoiler alert. It's a secret. Too bad you're not single. I think there's something unknown that is coming up to be revealed. And it is definitely, I'm getting that sort of Scorpio, like truth revealed vibe here with spoiler alert. Like, this is the truth. It's a secret, is the mystery that is coming up with this energy. And too bad you're not single. I think there's something about your individuality, who you are. And I think this is related to like it's a feminine expression because we had femininity here, but femininity in the sense of like creativity, in the sense that creation. So I feel like it feels electric in its way because I remember I was keying into that, even though it is trees. It feels sort of like static electric energy with the hair standing up to me too. Whatever information, it's something that you did not know before. I think it's got something to do with you and who you are that you're about to learn for yourself this week, like post this Scorpio full moon energy. But it is like exciting in its way. So whatever is coming up to be cleared or mourned, I think there's something that's like, oh God, like that is, maybe it's a hard pill to swallow, but there's something coming through this week that I think you're going to realize there's more to this truth that you weren't seeing, and it is showing you something about who you truly are, or this version of yourself that you're becoming, or this version of yourself that you want to be, any or all of those, if that makes sense. Okay. What does that mean? What does it mean? Sure. Yeah, let's see what it means. Like it makes sense in theory. So let's grab our tarot and we're going to ask, yeah, but it's like as soon as it's revealed to you, it's like you're like, aha, it's sort of like aha in this self-confidence sort of, it's like, ah, yes, like I am seeing myself as myself and I'm confident and comfortable in that self. Okay, so let's see. Could we please have, am I onto something here? Could we, there's one. Could we please have 2 more cards just to show us what energy we are working with through the next 7 days? Can you tell us more? That's number 2. Can you tell us more about, and that's number 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what we have here. Hmm. Okay. Let's start with our shadow cards. All right. The 7 of Pentacles is here in the reverse position. So there's a lack of patience coming up in whatever blooming you are working on doing at the moment. You are really rushing yourself. You're really rushing yourself. I get it. But you can't force a flower to bloom. Okay? Just because you plant a seed and that seed doesn't take hold doesn't mean that it's not something that was meant for you. Maybe it just wasn't the right time. Or maybe it isn't meant for you because there's something better that will take root and take hold. Either way, it's almost as if you're trying to force this transformation process. There's not a lot of patience around becoming whatever it is you are becoming. Behind that energy is the 4 of Pentacles. So I'm really feeling like, this is really stressing the idea that this is something, you're rebuilding something from a foundational level. Okay, this takes time. You have to build a strong, solid foundation before you can start building up the structure. Okay, so there's something here. Maybe it's like you want to like skip ahead, skip steps. You really have to do the work here with the 4 of Pentacles, but it's been really difficult to be patient with yourself. Part of that is a lack of rest. So rest continues to be something to focus on. Maybe your schedule is overly busy, or you're not letting your mind settle in some way. But this is something that you need because it's healing. It's constructive rest. It is the butterfly in the cocoon. It's a necessary part of the transformation. And you're sort of resisting that through this foundation building because you're trying to rush yourself through this process. And largely it's because you're done with it. The 10 of Swords here, like you're ready to move on and you're ready to let go in your mind. But interestingly enough, the 8 of Cups is behind that. So your heart is having a hard time letting go, really detaching and walking away from the situation. What's peeking out? Oh my gosh. She was in our full moon reading. Hello, representing what our focus was. So I think there's more there in that reading possibly, but she is, mother. She is supportive and nurturing. She creates safe space for everyone to flourish around her. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, this is really, for me, really driving home the need to create a safe space for yourself. Okay, maybe that's a part of the secret. Whatever mystery that that is being unearthed in this week ahead. Okay, so that's our shadow cards. That's what's underneath the surface, and that's what's driving every situation in our lives at the moment. Okay, whether or not we're aware of it. All right, because that's subconscious stuff. So what does that mean for the week ahead? Yeah, we have the Ace of Cups here. The Ace of Cups in the reverse position. So there's disappointment with this card. There's a need for healing in this card. I think there's been a lot of disappointment around starting anew for you. This is the spoiler alert, is that this is what's coming up. I think, interestingly enough, I think within the context of the secret aspects here, it's a secret. We also have the 8 of Swords in the reverse position as well. So this is stepping out of a false perception, reflection. Okay, this is stepping out of limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging behaviors. Okay, maybe there has been some, the way that you have been moving through life because of these disappointments, you're constantly pushing yourself to be further along than you are, but these disappointments are here that have not been grieved through. And it's asking you to shift that perspective, to really see things for what they are, because in the upright position, we've got somebody who's really bound up here, but in the reverse, we can see that that is not the reality being reflected. Okay, it's a distorted perception. And we're seeing that these disappointments, they need to be healed, and we're stepping out of the false narrative that has kept us like entangled with these disappointments. The 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position, where the 10 of Pentacles in the upright position is all about, this is sort of like generational. This is building something that is bigger than you and yourself, but we have this in the reverse position. So I feel like there's still so much more to be building up for you. And that, I think, is what's tying in with the too bad you're not single. Okay, there's a generational element here. And I'm almost seeing this too as maybe some cycle breaker type stuff. Too bad you're not single, right? You know, this particular full moon in Scorpio, because of everything that's happening with other planets, is also like very karmic. So this could be like generational. Maybe there's disappointments around things that's happened because of some sort of mindset or something behavioral, something that was handed down to you, that this is the opportunity to step out of that, to get out of that entanglement where you're pushing and rushing. This is also giving me sort of like survival instead of having a safe place to grow here. And I think this is something to do with how you are taking care of yourself in the physical world. And there's some sort of emotional disappointment here that is attached to that because of a distorted perception. Most certainly, this card is like definitely like about self-sabotage and stuff like that. So if you didn't know before, know now that self-sabotage is something that you learn in your early life, growing in an environment that does not listen to your needs or let you express your thoughts, feelings, individuality, imagination. So it's, in a sense, something that's passed to you. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's something that's got to do with your relationship with money or working or something to do with how you provide material resources for yourself. Does that make sense? Yeah, but we have such an interesting energy with the Bloom card. And again, I felt electric feeling. Also, look at this. Because this card and this card with the roots here, but these are like the branches, okay? So that's emulating. I think there is something about this shift that actually brings back some confidence for you, that brings back some sense of self in who you are as an individual. Outside of how you've been conditioned. Okay. I don't know. That's what I see. And that's what I've got this week. Let me know how you feel about it. What do you think? Is this resonating at all? Does it make sense? Please like the video, share, subscribe, comment, do all of the things. Also, there's information on how you can connect with me in the description box there. It's a little outdated. I gotta like redo it, but like whatever, like connect with me and we'll talk about it later. And what else? There's like fun energy here, and I don't really know how to explain it or what it is because something is coming up around disappointments, but I think it's whatever the aha moment, the spoiler may not be great to see, but the aha moment is sort of like tongue in cheek. I'm getting the sense of. Anyway, you're going to have to let me know. All right. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this provided a little insight for you for this week. And that's what I've got. So with all of that being said, I will see you on the other side.